PicketFM.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
Welcome into On the Block on a Tuesday. My name is Nate Brennan. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. Remote today because it is snowing in Lincoln, Nebraska. Not quite enough for it to snow, for it to be a measurable snow, I should say. But still snowing nonetheless, and we're taking the safe route. So Eric Strickland is at his humble abode. But he's still going to join us, and so can you. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. And I just want to say this to the text line because we just got in a very animated, heated argument, as we normally do on the crossover, because, as you know, I'm a very animated and heated person when I'm very passionate about things, as is Rico, as is Nick, as is Eric Strickland. So if you've got a question for us, let us know. 402-464-5685. That goes for the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream as well, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We want to hear from you all. Hear what you got to say. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, all of that good stuff. We'll bring him in, the Husker Hall of Famer. Strick, what's going on?
Well, now the adjustment has been made. The transformation from Texas and Florida has now come to the cold. Yeah. Hey, but it's one of those things, man. It's chilly, it's cold, but that's what the beauty of technology is today, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just think about, I mean, you're still kind of young, and that's good, because we had to do some stuff in weather and in situations where this was not the option. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's pretty cool that even still we can come together and communicate. And I think, over COVID and all that stuff really helped us to be able to know that we can do work in different ways, to be creative about it. So it's cool.
Well, yeah, Strick, I will say the one thing that I'm definitely grateful for is I do remember MapQuest, but GPS is my best friend because, one, I'm really bad with directions. Two, my eyes have failed me many times. Not only am I colorblind, but I have some of the worst vision that you'll ever see. I'm not quite legally blind, but I think I might be headed towards that direction here later in life. So having a GPS is very helpful for someone like me. So I'll always say that is definitely something that I look forward to.
Well, Nate, on that note, what's crazy about that is I'm one of those guys that's different, where if I go somewhere one time, I can always get back.
Really?
If I get somewhere, it's somehow I check landscapes, I understand crossings, I know what can go from where to where, and I say, okay, I can get there and I can find my way back. It's pretty crazy.
When I first got here, so obviously when I first started here, I wasn't working at the ticket. I was just working at 1011. So in the mornings, I would always do my GPS. For my apartment, it is basically a straight shot. Like, you're basically just taking 27th. I used the GPS for a month when I got here because directions are not my thing. I'm not good with locations. I think it's because I don't have a photographic memory. Do you have a photographic memory, Strick?
No, I don't think I have a photographic memory, but one of the things that I was pretty good at is play recall. So I can see something, deal with something, especially athletic wise, or when I was refereeing, I can recall different things that happen at different points throughout the game. So I think my mind has a selective type of memory. I remember what I think that's either beneficial to me or helping me to do something. Otherwise, it's just like it's out the window. You can tell. You've seen it on Shootout with Strick. I freaking know that stuff, and it'll just be like, it'll just freeze.
Well, Strick, I will say you being able to recall information like that, probably just another reason added to the list why you were a professional athlete, and I absolutely was not. All right, let's get into it. So Mickey Joseph talking today to the media. Just a few things to go over. So we're getting prepared for Wisconsin, obviously, this weekend. It looks like Casey Thompson will be the starter as of now. Obviously, with the injury history, things could change. And then we had an interesting question here on the text line, Strick, and I want to get some of your thoughts on it too, because it did get a little bit heated. And I threw out a couple hypotheticals, and Nick and Rico threw out a couple hypotheticals. But basically what it came down to it is, I know there are a ton of variables, a bunch of things that could change, but a texter was saying, are we sure that Mickey Joseph is this great of a recruiter? Is there another guy that we could get in the door that would be as good of a recruiter? And this was my pushback. And Nick was talking about his history at LSU. He was talking about the recruiting that Nebraska's had in recent years under Scott Frost. And I said, let's just simplify this. And I know there are a lot of variables that change this. Who are the two best players on Nebraska's offense? I'd probably say Casey Thompson and
Trey Palmer. Mm-hmm.
Who is the guy that brought them to Nebraska, and who have they said is the sole reason, not sole reason, one of the main reasons that they are here at the University of Nebraska? Mickey Joseph.
Because of Mickey.
And I just look at that, and I just think it's so difficult to compare. And Nick brought up development, which was a great point. But when you compare recruiting at LSU to Nebraska, while I do think NIL is going to help Nebraska, I think that's going to be a huge factor. I think getting the previous regime out and getting a new culture, a new regime in is going to help Nebraska as well. I would make the argument it is 10 times easier to recruit at LSU than it is in Nebraska. Facts. And that's probably always going to be the case.
Facts.
So let's just throw the LSU argument to the side. Let's throw that out of the conversation. And I said, what has Mickey Joseph done in less than a year just in the transfer portal? He's brought in the two best players on your offense. And again, there are a ton of variables. If Mickey Joseph wasn't here, there are other guys that would have stepped in and filled in. But I look at those games specifically against Rutgers and against Indiana. The biggest reason that you won those games is because of Casey Thompson and Trey Palmer. What has happened since Casey Thompson has left? You have had a significant decline in quarterback play, and we've seen that when Trey Palmer isn't involved, the offense stalls. So I know that it's tough to look at it that simplistically, but I just look at the team and how it's currently constructed, and I think Mickey Joseph has his handprints all over it. And I think that when you talk about recruiting specifically, you would be very hard-pressed to convince me that there are better recruiters that would come to Nebraska, care about Nebraska, and recruit for Nebraska than Mickey Joseph. I think it's the best that it gets.
Man, I think you make a good point there. I think there's something else that may be missed in that discussion as well. There's something that he said when he was asked about recruiting, and he said, he had talked about in the presser, he had talked about, there were people that were talking about him offering a 2-star quarterback or something of that nature. And he said, if I would have taken that philosophy into mind, and I'm looking at stars, because there's been a lot of high stars that have come through Nebraska, and how does that work out? Right. And so the thing is people get so caught up on stars, but then he said something, I would have missed out on Justin Jefferson. He said Justin Jefferson coming in was a 2,100. He was a 2-star. And if I wasn't looking for that one little thing, that thing called grit, somebody said, well, how can you develop grit? No, you can't develop grit. You have to go get it. You have to go find it. You can't, that has to be inertly in somebody. It has to be in somebody for you to have it. You don't just say you can develop grit. Now, grit can be, somebody can be around it, and it can become contagious, where you're like, okay, I see what that looks like. I see what that gets me. Let me get a little bit of that in me. Sometimes it just don't pan out. And a lot of times, most people that don't have it. You can't get it. You just become whatever the skill set is. You can really only max out. When you have grit, when you have that go get, when you have that hunger, it's the same thing that I had. You know what I'm saying? I had that grit. There's nothing you could tell me that I couldn't do. If you told me I couldn't do it, I would go do it just because you told me I couldn't. That's a grit. That's the thing about grit. And that's what he's looking for. That's what he's looking for to bring here. And that's what even is better, because you can go find that anywhere in the regions that he talked about. He talked about the different locations. He talked about, I'm not necessarily saying I need to go out to California. And that's where everybody tries to go to, these big states. Well, there's Texas, there's UCLA, there's USC, there's all these other places you got to fight against. And then you end up with second tier, second best a lot of the time. So I'm going to these other places and finding grit. And I like that. And I think that's what's missed when people are looking at recruiting. I think it's missed in basketball too. Everybody's always chasing the stars and the Zion Williams types and the ones that everybody's got their eyes on. But little did you know, right? Little did you know, there is a Ja Morant in one of the backcourts somewhere back there, and all of y'all missed him because you looking at stars. You see what I'm saying? But just happened to be, where did he go? To Murray State. Happened to be a Murray State going to get a freaking hot dog or something. He said he was going to the bathroom, or he was going, and he said, wait a minute, who is this? Coach, you need to get over here right now. There's this kid over here. That's how you find the Ja Morant. That's how you find the Tyronn Lue. That's how you find these type of guys, is because you get them when no one's looking. And then when you get hot, you've got a relationship built with them. That's what Mickey's looking to do. And look, I'm not going to say he's the guy or the head coach, but I think don't miss out on the fact that that man can recruit. That man can do that. That's what he does.
And it's also too strict, and I'll get to the text line here in a second. It's contagious. And you can just put football aside. There's a reason that when kids are growing up, a big part of parenting, and you could speak on this, Strick, because I'm not a parent, but I know this is what my parents told me. Notice who you surround yourself with. Notice who you hang out with. Notice the people that are in your inner circle. When you have those guys that have grit, determination, want to get to the highest level possible, that's contagious. That in itself is culture. And you don't even have to be talking about football. You could talk about all aspects of life. It's who do you surround yourself with, and are people that you surround yourself with going to make you better?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and like you said, like for me even, right? I never wanted to be the best guy on the team. I never wanted to solely be the best or the biggest guy in the room. I don't ever want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be around those that are way smarter than me, so I can just take little pieces. I can grab a little bit of that. And so for me, playing in Bellevue, when I was playing in Bellevue, I would do things outside of the norm. Even as a young kid and 12 years old, I would go and play with the men. I would go to the base gym where everybody else is trying to play in the playgrounds where they could dominate and they can control the game. And everybody's like, yeah, you the man. No, I'm going to go over here with these men. These are real men, and I'm playing against them. And I got to be physical, and I got to bump and grind, and I got to find my way. I got to fit in. I got to make my way. So those are the things you got to, you that makes you different. And I would always go up and hang out with Terrence Badgett and go out there to North Omaha and hang out with some of those guys and play in some of those games with them. So that way I was never just the best guy on the court. And that makes a difference. That's what you want to find, man. You really want to look for those types of intangibles in somebody, because that goes beyond the numbers or the analytics or what you've done. You could have 2,000 yards against the YMCA School of the Blind. Right? You can have 2,000 yards and be the best guy, but it's different if you go down to IMG and you're putting up numbers and you're doing different things on this national level for Bosco and guys like that, right? You're doing it on a national level. That still don't make you, that guy, because the next level is going to be another level of people that you must, grind yourself through. So that's the way I look at it, man. I think we sometimes see it differently, and everybody wants this now, and everybody don't have the heart for this stuff, man.
Right. And I agree. And that's a big part of it. And I'll go to the text line now because this drives me crazy. And people always say that I say this, which is the exact opposite. Dirty Tony and the boys says, Nate, quit acting like Nebraska isn't a destination many athletes want to go to. That's the most ignorant statement I've ever made. I have never once said that in any capacity. I have always said, get kids on campus to Nebraska. NIL will help you as well. Get a good culture. Kids will come to Nebraska. I have never said the opposite of that. I'm simply stating, which is a fact. You can look at recruiting. It is easier to recruit at Louisiana State University than it is at Nebraska. Facts, simply put. And that's always going to be the case. There's nothing you can do about it. Do I think kids will come to Nebraska? Absolutely. Can you get top-tier talent? History will tell you yes, and that will never change. I have never once said that kids aren't going to come to Nebraska and they can't get top-tier athletes. I hate when people put that word in my mouth because it drives me absolutely crazy. I have never once said that. All I'm saying is that there are schools that it's going to be easier to recruit at than Nebraska. Simply put. And that's the reality of the situation, and it stinks. And as a Virginia Tech fan, I've had to deal with that too. Because guess what? It's a lot easier to recruit at North Carolina than it is at Virginia Tech. Boo-hoo. Sorry. That's the reality of the situation. Can you get top-tier guys? Absolutely. 100%. But I think a big part of it, Strick, like you said, is getting the guys in the room that are determined, that can develop. Because if you try and recruit like Alabama, you're going to lose to Alabama on the field. Okay? It's just not going to happen. You have to get the guys that have determination, grit, all that stuff, like you said, Strick. And I think that's a big part of what Mickey brings to the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing much to add to that because that's a fact. I think Mickey, I think anybody that would come in as a coach they all have what they call exit meetings, or they'll have entrance meetings. And in this instance, if a new coach is coming, he's going to bring a certain amount of probably people with him, that'll probably follow. That'll be the case. But then he'll also have discussions, or they would have already had discussions. I said this again, and I'll say it again. I do not know this for a fact, but I would venture to say that Trev Albers has had discussions with whoever this next coach is going to be. And there's probably certain people on that list that he's saying this guy needs to remain. I agree. And I would think that probably Mickey is that guy. And I'll go ahead and say it again because what RM Husker just said is another thing I thought about. That young man, Malachi Coleman, his mind was nowhere in the realm of Nebraska at some point in his recruiting process. He had honestly said he's not. No, I'm not interested. Who could have changed that? It didn't just happen. It ain't happening in the win column. He didn't go to a game where he's like, oh yeah, I want to. No, there's something he believes in what he heard from who he talked to, and that guy is who we're talking about. So listen. I think that's going to be the case. There's a lot of speculation out there who the coach is going to be, so forth. People are spewing all kinds of stuff around, but I would still say that I believe Trev had a discussion at some point with that coach, and I believe Mickey will still remain here no matter what the situation. And don't get it twisted. I think he'll be looking for the next deal for him potentially, and continue to build his resume. And look to get an opportunity when it comes, when the right one comes.
Yeah. We'll talk about that next, coming up on the block.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
The more competitive roster, they might lose. And understand what you need to do in this conference on the offense side of the ball and the defense side of the ball.
Don't miss the Husker after party
it's a different makeup of the conference. So you got to understand that. Then you also got to understand where you're at.
Instant react.
You got to understand that you don't sit in the middle of Texas, the middle of Louisiana, the middle of Georgia, that you got to be able to go down there and convince those kids to come up here. So he's got to understand that recruit's going to be a big part. Whoever sits in that chair, recruit's going to be a big part. You got to want to work because it's not like working when you're at Georgia because they right there. You got to work here. I mean, you got to work. Whoever takes his job, they better be ready to work.
In Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford, as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too.
Well, I think it comes down to depth. You gotta have more depth. You gotta have, instead of having 12 offensive linemen, you gotta have 15 to 16. Instead of having 12 D linemen, you gotta have 15 to 16. You gotta have
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
So you get a competitive roster where they're competing. That's going to make the team better.
36 and the northwest wind at around 15 to 20.
Because if you bang a whole bunch, you play in the middle of the field. SEC, you cover every inch of the field. But in the Big Ten, you playing at home. So you're going to lose some kids. Because you know what I'm saying? So they hit each other like bam, bam, bam. So if I hit you like that 3 times,
you haven't started thinking about holiday shopping yet. Chances are your holidays will be much less stressful if you do all of that shopping in one place. Chances are you can have all that shopping done today with the help of Beatrice Bakery. Pick up Grandma's cakes and sizes all the way up to 5 pounds, and you can sit back and relax this year. Order now at BeatriceBakery.com or buy them here in Lincoln at the From Nebraska gift shop at 8 and 2. Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
So I couldn't tell you why they're so far ahead, but
working at Continental and Lincoln isn't a job; it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring. Production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium costs to the associates.
We just got to be more aggressive when we go down there. We got to do a really good evaluation.
To apply, go to continental-jobs.com. Keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you.
I don't think it's been difficult because I've been having it. I've been having fun.
Jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaveSaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a coverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. 5040 North 27th Street. That's On the Block with Strick and Nick on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, no, you said it. Real good defense, and they like to run the football. It's no secret. And they hadn't changed much.
Welcome back to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet. Eric Strickland, 424-645-685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. We want to hear from you if you have an intelligent thing to say. We appreciate that as well.
He's a
Facebook,
really good running back.
And Twitter. Reach us on all of those platforms. It's Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. Check out what's going on here in studio. Strick remote today, so he wanted to make sure to stay out of the snow, avoid any of the inclement weather that might be coming Nebraska's way. So we appreciate him tuning in, even if it is remote. Again, 402-464-5685. Sorry, Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. Strick, what's going on?
Yeah. I think my guy should be calling in. Being that I'm remote, I wasn't able to tap him in, so he should be making that
usually
call.
You hop over to the other studio and help. But yeah, no, we luckily for us, we will head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Rico's having a little conversation over there, as he always does. Whenever I've noticed that, Strick, whenever Cluster calls, him and Rico always have a little chat every time.
That's that B West love, baby. That's what we do. We stay together. You know, we all we got. CMB. If you know, you know.
I do not. All right, just Rico gave a little fist bump. We don't have cluster yet, so we're still gonna wait on that. Okay, now maybe he should be calling. See, here's the thing: we're playing a little cat and mouse game because, like, I always get very hesitant, strict to just put people through the radio, just put them on air. That's kind of a dangerous game.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game, and I love how you always kind of you always give them just a little word. Hey, you know, just to let you know you're on the air.
You're on the air. Please be a little bit nice. But we will go ahead and head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, where we officially do now have Cluster Johnson, two-time national champion. Cluster, what's going on?
Man, I'm just here trying to make it happen.
Well, you always do a good job of that, my friend.
Cluster, that's right.
Doing big things, my boy. And we're very appreciative of you taking your time to come out here and hang with us on the block again. And, you know, last two games are on the way. We have Wisconsin and then we have Iowa. But right now, Wisconsin, we've lost 4 straight. I think at this point, you know, let me get to one of the questions that I think that is relevant to this topic. There are some people that are saying, you know, it still may not be over for Mickey. I personally think that he'll be around. I think there's a plan surrounded for him and him still remaining. I think there's probably discussions going on. I don't know who it is or when it's going to happen. There's some people saying and speculating it could be announced after this Wisconsin game potentially. But with that in mind, is there anything that you think he could do in these next 2 games against 2 West, you know, Big Ten West rivals that could salvage anything or leave a good taste in your mouth about the season for the Huskers?
Well, it's an incredibly tough situation. I feel sorry for Trev, and I feel sorry for Mickey being put in this situation because it's not an easy situation to be put in. Trying to take over a team and it not initially having your print on it. You know, this team, you know, he had to try to come in and put his print on the team over a period of, you know, 6 games or so, where this team comes from 4.5 years of a print from another coach. So there's a whole bunch of DNA that needs to be retrained. There's a whole bunch of DNA that needs to be rethought. And then he has to get his guys in there. Cause I'm sure Mickey is working with some kids where he clearly sees that either they've given up or they just don't fit the bill for what he's trying to get accomplished. I mean, that's just the reality of it. What I would love to see, and you know, and this is me on the outside looking in. I don't have to deal with a lot of the, you know, words and internal issues that Trev had to deal with. But I'd love to see Mickey get a good 3 years to see what he could do from the off season all the way through recruiting. You know, after about a couple of years, you will know. That's all it takes. Seriously, about 2 years. That's all it takes. How many times have we seen these coaches win a national championship after the second year? We've seen it happen a number of times. Now, I'm not saying Mickey will win the national championship the second year, but I would love to see, you know, that first year the team kind of gets the goals and the aspirations of what it should look like and how things should go. Then that second year, everybody comes in with the expectation of what to do. And that's when you see your biggest uptick from a team.
Two-time national champion Cluster Johnson join us. Cluster, question I got for you kind of pertaining to Mickey Joseph. A lot of the discussion that we've had today, they had it in the happy hour. We've now brought it into On the Block is the recruiting and that aspect that Mickey Joseph brings. What is it about Mickey Joseph, one, that makes him such a great recruiter? And two, do you think that's a big part of the discussion when it comes to retaining Mickey Joseph?
Well, how about I describe it as something that most men be able to recognize. Okay, I'll describe it as a man talking to a woman. Okay, you guys will hear, you've heard this term before, the gift of gab. Okay, Nikki has the gift of gab. Nikki has the gift of gab. So I'm comparing it to like a woman talking to a man. Okay, Nikki has the gift of gab. He knows how to talk to kids on their level, but I think he also has the resume to show you that whatever I'm telling you, I can get that done. Okay. So not only is he going to shoot you straight, you know, he's pretty much telling you, listen, I'll get you to the promised land if you come in and do exactly what I tell you to do. And look what I've done before. This could be you. And I'm making it very simple, okay? Because there's also the NIL aspect of things. There's the graduation and academic part of things. So I'm making it very simplistic, but I think he really knows how to implement all of those things together and make these kids and families feel like, you know what, I want my son to grow here and become a full individual versus just a football player.
Yeah, one of the things that he mentioned, Cluster, in his presser was he talked about this thing where somebody had asked him a question about the quarterback situation and was kind of, you know, talking to him about the fact that he offered a quarterback that they thought wasn't in the realm or the space that could play here, a 2-star or something of that nature. And he says, no, what we're doing is we're doing something different. Because if I would have listened to everybody that told me that about Justin Jefferson, who was a 2100, and everybody was, you know, looking at me crazy, look at him now. They have this thing called grit. And he says, you can't teach that. Because somebody said, well, how do you teach that? He says, you can't teach that. It has to be in you. It has to be one of those things that's in you. Tell us your perspective of what that looks like and what that grit looks like. Because everybody's chasing stars and nobody's looking for that extra thing that a young man or woman has, and that's that grit thing.
Yeah. You know, that's a very good question, Rick, because I think it's very hard to describe what it is, but I'll try to do the best I can. Just from my perspective, Strick, and from your perspective, because I got to see you at an early age. You know, I didn't see you from the beginning, but I got to see you at a pretty early age, you know, junior high school, where I could kind of see how you function. You know, so grit, there's a lot of things to me that goes into it. It's determination, will, competitiveness, smarts, toughness. There's a lot that go into grit. It's one of those deals where, you know what, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to kill me. It's one of those things. It's like I'm going to dig down to the deepest of my soul. My air is going to give away if I keep going because I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to go there to beat you. That's grit. Grit is a person who they're willing to dig down deep just to win. I compare it to two guys holding on to monkey bars, right? Like how long can I hold on versus how long you can hold on? The guy with grit, he's going to hold on those couple of seconds after you let go. It could be 2-3 hours, but he's going to hold on for 3 hours and 2 seconds because he's going to win. He's going to dig down deep. He don't care how hard it is, how tough it is, how much it hurts. He's going to win. That's grit.
Well said. And because that's the one thing that they talk about. And when he's talking about recruiting, he's not just talking about somebody telling him about stars or telling them where, you know, this 5-star guy can be this and that. He says, I'm looking for guys that with grit, when I'm looking for guys with that other thing, that when they check that heart check, that when you have a whole room of people checking their heart check, having a heart check, that they're going to come out and they're going to give you, and they're going to run through walls and break bricks and whatever it's going to take to get the job done. That's what he's looking for.
This in here, Eric. Mm-hmm. The worst thing you can ever call an athlete is soft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And soft is the opposite end of grit to me. Okay. You can say hard, but hard doesn't describe grit. Grit is a little bit more of what you're looking for out of an athlete, but you don't also use the word soft. Soft is, unfortunately, a guy that's hurt a lot. And I ain't talking about like a serious injury, but just maybe little minor things will bother him. And it's just unfortunate. It's just, that's what it is. That's what it is. I remember Lawrence Phillips is the epitome of grit. Okay. I remember Lawrence, he had a high ankle sprain probably on Monday, and he was back practicing like Wednesday. And I know it hurt because it was the size of a basketball, but he taped that thing up and he ran. He ran like there was no pain. And I know it was painful. Like that's kind of describing gritty.
Right. And they got to dance for that now, but no, we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, class, listen, there's a few games left. Obviously the last game is going to be a tough challenge as well with Iowa. Iowa's actually been playing. They are an anomaly of a team. I don't understand that they're still really in the mix of this Big Ten West, like to actually win it. It is the craziest dynamic right now with no offense in sight, but yet their freaking defense is just that good. And they've got grit. Like their defense, that's grit. When every night you know that the freaking thing is on your shoulders. And I think that people can look at that and see what grit is. That's a defensive team that with grit.
Well, these last two teams, because Wisconsin actually has a really tough defense also. I mean, their coach is a defensive-minded coach. And watching that Iowa-Wisconsin game, it just really actually came down to mistakes. Iowa's defense caused more mistakes, and their special teams, they blocked some punts. They had a pick six. They had some fumbles. I mean, that's just what they do. They cause disruption on your offense, and Nebraska's going to have to go into that hostile environment there at the end of the year and really try to win. And Wisconsin, they're trying to get bowl eligible. They're 5-5, so this game is really important to them to get to a bowl. So I'm sure they're going to lay it on the line for their coach, who became an interim coach. So a lot of the kids are trying to keep him around. So they're trying to win the game for him, so he can keep that job and really have no issues. So Nebraska's going to have two tough games, but that's why you play the game. I mean, when Wisconsin and Iowa, neither team are flawless teams. As you can see, they both have lost 5 and 4 games. So the games are winnable. I mean, to me, the games are 50-50 games.
Yeah. Last thing, man, just as an exit. Last thing is you watched Cadillac Williams, who everybody talks about experience. Everybody talks about all these different, he's not a high level this. But the man did something phenomenal for the Auburn program, and that is with all them 5-star recruits, and Auburn is down. Let's be real about it. Auburn's talent levels is down. But guess what he was able to do? Get those young men to come out, scrap, play, and get the job done. So kudos to Cadillac Williams. Also, sad shout out to the Virginia players that lost their life over this past weekend as well. Cluster Johnson, we appreciate you, man, your continued love for Here on the Block. Thank you for continuing to support us with your wisdom Thank you. And you're always here on this time. Usually it'd be on Monday, but we weren't able to get you Monday, but we'd like to get you on Monday after a week. And we hope to hear back from you next Monday.
Thank you. I'll be back.
All right, my man. That's Clester Johnson. That's him, two-time national champion, my friend, my boy, and a friend of the block. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We'll come back, and we'll have Shootout with Strick right after this.
Holiday wishes really do come true. Through January 4th, 2023, when you enter any non-winning Nebraska lottery, $1 Holiday Wishes 2X, $5 Holiday Wishes 10X, or $10 Holiday Wishes 20X scratch ticket, you have a chance to win $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000. There are 2 drawings for winners, so visit your nearest Nebraska lottery retailer today, buy some tickets, and enter our Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion. Top prize odds vary by game.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions and drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Chances are you haven't started thinking about holiday shopping yet. Chances are your holidays would be much less stressful if you could do all of that shopping in one place. Chances are you can have all that shopping done today with the help of Beatrice Bakery. Pick up Grandma's fruitcakes in sizes all the way up to 5 pounds, and you can sit back and relax this year. Order now at BeatriceBakery.com or buy them here in Lincoln at the From Nebraska gift shop at 8th and Q. Beatrice Bakery, welcome to our world of yum.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 9th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs. People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies at times. It will be breezy and cold with a high of only 36 and a northwest wind at around 15 to 20. We may see a few snow showers drift through late this evening into tonight with a low of 18. And tomorrow, staying cold with a high of only 33. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for some holiday fun right in the heart of downtown Lincoln? Bring your friends and family to Lincoln's largest drive-through Christmas lights experience. This show features countless high-quality lights in vibrant colors, holiday props, and favorite characters of the season, all synchronized to music to enjoy in your car. Start a new holiday tradition this year and experience the magic of Nebraska Christmas Light Show at Haymarket Park from November 26th to January 3rd, 5 p.m. to midnight. Purchase tickets today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one. all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685. To take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That is correct. It's time to play the game. It will look a little bit different today because, Strick, to be entirely honest with you, things got a little bit heated on the crossover with the happy hour, so I didn't have as much time as I usually do to do the question for Shootout Strick. But luckily for you, I do have an idea, so we will be able to get a winner regardless. But, Strick, this will not count against you, even though you did lose yesterday. So I think in all fairness, because this one's on me, I messed this one up.
I won yesterday.
No, you didn't. You did not win yesterday. But I will go ahead and chalk today up as a W because this one's my fault. This one's on me. We'll get to it in a second. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew, and Strick, you mentioned the tragedy that happened at the University of Virginia, and I wanted to speak on that a little bit too. As someone from Virginia, my heart and thoughts, prayers, all of that is out to their community. Just an awful situation that happened there. And their head coach, Tony Elliott, will be speaking to the media here soon too. So I'm not entirely sure what all that entails. I don't want to speak for them in any means. I'm assuming that the rest of their football season is probably in question. I'm assuming that they'll probably discuss if they're going to move forward with the season or not. I know that they have 2 games left. They are officially out of bowl contention, so that might play into it. Again, I'm not speaking for anyone. That press conference is going to be coming up soon, but wanted to make sure to give a sad shout out, but a shout out nonetheless, because I do think these players need to be remembered and in your thoughts and prayers because of the tragedy that happened this past Monday morning, and just an awful situation for the Cavaliers. And I know I joke around all the time about how much I hate UVA and all that, and it's all in good fun. And sometimes things are bigger than sports, and sometimes things are real life, and things like this happen, and it's a tragedy. And I just wanted to make sure that they're remembered and everyone's keeping them in their thoughts and prayers. All right. I just wanted to make sure that we were able to do that and keep everyone informed that they are going to have a press conference. I'm going to assume they're going to talk about the direction of UVA's season. But on a more positive note, we're going to give away some chicken, $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. And it's going to look a little bit different today. And we're going to give Strick the win nonetheless, but he's still going to give away the chicken, the stricken. So this is my question today. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line. The first person to text in correctly, you will get the chicken today. So here's the question. The last time Nebraska defeated Wisconsin was in 2012. We all know that. It was September 29th, 2012. I want to know the correct score. So what was the score of Nebraska versus Wisconsin on September 29th, 2012, the last time that Nebraska won against Wisconsin. No Google machine. Me and Strick are very against that. No Google machine. So make sure to send us text 402-464-5685. The first person to correctly give us the answer, you will get the chicken. Strick, I think we're going to head to a break. We got some NFL buy or sell. How does that sound?
I love it. Let's get it.
All right, we will go ahead and do that now. Again, you're listening to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. We appreciate every single one of you that are texting in. Everyone that's on the video stream, again, the first person to text in correctly. When was the last time? Well, no, we know the last time. 2012 was the last time Nebraska beat Wisconsin. What was the final score of that game? We'll have the winner coming up next. Stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Superior for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Superior, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 9th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side. Casey's General Stores is giving away 2 tickets to each Nebraska football home game this season. To enter, just head to any Casey's General Store location in Lincoln during the football season, scan the QR code at the front counter, and fill out the online form. One winner will be chosen at random 2 days before that week's game. So head over to Casey's, stock up on all your tailgating snacks and drinks, and register to win 2 tickets to a Nebraska football game, brought to you by Casey's General Store and 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day workweek schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies at times. It will be breezy and cold with a high of only 36 and a northwest wind at around 15 to 20. We may see a few snow showers drift through late this evening into tonight with a low of 18. And tomorrow, staying cold with a high of only 33. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
A shout out to BJ. He will officially walk away with the Stricken. September 29th, 2012, the last time the Cornhuskers would defeat the Wisconsin Badgers. Nebraska coming into this one 20th in the country. At home, they would win 30-27. And BJ not holding back, despite not even giving them the option, do you want to talk trash to Strick? Because technically we gave Strick the win. He says, would have beat Strick again, and there's no snow on the ground. Guess he doesn't have grit. He's just kidding.
That's hilarious. That's why I love it. That's why I love it, man. They get real feisty right now. There's a lot of grit going on this text line.
Right. There is. So all in good fun. BJ, we appreciate you reaching out to us again. 30-27. BJ got it in almost instantly, too. So he was on top of it, says go Skurs. Hopefully Nebraska will break that trend. Hopefully we don't go to 9 straight seasons with Nebraska losing to Wisconsin. That'd be nice. Again, you're listening to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. Also, the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We want to hear from you guys as always. You can also head over to the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Reach out to us on all those platforms. Let us know your thoughts, what you're thinking today. Give us likes, subscribes, all that good stuff. We always appreciate you. Strick, as we always do, at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, we're going to do some NFL buy or sell, and I have to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back, a little bit of credit here, because I think I got some good questions for you today, so I'm very intrigued to see where this conversation takes us. And we're going to start out with one of your favorite teams, Strick, the Cowboys. Your boys, the Cowboys. They are now 6-3, currently, as it stands, the 6th seed in the NFC, or excuse me, the 6th seed in the NFC, the 3rd seed in the NFC Beast is what we should probably start calling it these days. But if you look at the standings in the NFC, as it currently stands, like I said, the Cowboys are the 6th, the 49ers right on their tail, they're the 7th seed, the football team that just defeated the Eagles last night are at 5-5, and the Packers at 4-6, which we'll get to in a second. So my question to you, Strick, buy or sell? The Cowboys will miss the playoffs.
So this is dangerous ground, right? Because, listen, the Commanders are actually kind of coming along. I think this 4 straight now that they won. And, you know, that's a big win for them on the road. And so that's got to be a scary part. Rivera's got them guys out there, you know, doing something different. McLaren, they signed the big deal down for the Commanders, and he's looking like he's starting to perform. I don't know what's going on down there, but whatever they got going on, the mojo or what's in the food or the chowder there, whatever they're eating down there, the crab cakes,
they're eating something, right?
They're eating something, and they're actually playing good. I don't see where I want to say that the Commanders exposed them in some ways, some deficiencies in them. Definitely in their zone. In whatever their zone packages that they put together, they weren't able to get pressure, and they were just eating them up. It was like the playbook was given to them about their defensive, the way their coverages are going to be. So listen, I'm gonna buy right now. Show me something different.
Ooh, well, it's interesting you're buying, Strick, because at first I thought this was an immediate sell when it comes to the Cowboys, and then I dove a little bit deeper into their schedule. So the next 2 games, they'll travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, who just defeated the Buffalo Bills in probably the greatest game that I've seen in quite a while, if not ever. They'll then host the Giants, who are currently ahead of them not only in the playoff standings, but also in the division. And then their final 3 games of the season, they'll host the Eagles, travel to Tennessee to take on the 6-3 Titans, and then finish the season at Washington, like you said, one of the hottest teams in football. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with the Cowboys over these next few weeks, because once you get through these 2 games, I'm not going to call them must wins, but the last 3 games of your season are going to be tough. And if you're the Cowboys, I don't think you want to be on the outside looking in when it gets to those last 3 games of the season. So at this point in time, I'm going to sell, but I think these next 2 games are really important for the Cowboys. Strick, the team that beat them. That beat them. I don't even know if beat them is beat them. I'm not entirely sure. The team that recently defeated the Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers. It's crazy what happened in the NFL this week, because so much changed after this week, and we're having completely opposite discussions. So we were talking about the Packers possibly tanking the rest of the season, looking to make a quarterback switch. Aaron Rodgers has by far his best game of the season. The Packers at home will defeat the Cowboys. That now pushes them to 4-6. They're the 9 seed in the NFC if it were to end today. So I'll ask you this, Strick. After what you saw from the Packers this past weekend, buy or sell? The Packers will make the playoffs. I know.
I know, man.
I got some good questions for you today.
I'm gonna still have to sell that. I think now that he thinks he's found something, in the passing game, and some of the receivers that he's able to get the ball to now. I still think that scouts will catch up with that. I don't know for sure if I can count week in and week out as to how they're going to perform. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a top tier, top 5 quarterback, and he will continuously be good. I still don't know if they'll be able to hold up when the going gets tough and the tough get going.
Yeah, it'll be that's one that I'm gonna go ahead and sell as well. But I tell you what, we've seen in the past Aaron Rodgers to start out a season not looking great, and then he just flips a switch or something, and it's just a completely different football team, and they look really good against the Cowboys. So 2 teams possibly heading in different directions. It'll be something to monitor over the next couple weeks. Strick, this one is a little bit interesting because I never really envisioned we'd be having this discussion here going into week 10 or 11. I'm not sure. Week 11. So the Denver Broncos currently sit at 3-6. They're the 12 seed as of right now if it were to end today in the AFC playoff race. Russell Wilson has not only looked not great, he's looked bad. I've got a stat for you that I'm going to read for you before I get to this buy or sell, Strick, because this blew my mind. So I saw this. If the Broncos this season, so we're talking about this season as it currently stands, the 9 games they played, if they would have scored 18 points, not more than 18 points, not some games. If they would have scored 18 points every single game this season, their record would be 8-1.
Right.
They would be 8-1 if they scored 18 points every game. Instead, they find themselves at 3-6. Buy or sell. Russell Wilson will be benched before the season is over.
Well, see, that's a crazy thing that to throw out there. Because in all actuality, you just paid this man. You like if you do that, you might as well write your ticket to being ousted as a GM, or going to the bench, because who are they going to turn to, right? Yes, you've got Rippon, but that's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, Brett Rippon. I mean, like, where do you go? Like, you either have to try to figure it out, change up your offensive scheme, make something to fit that makes him comfortable. What you were used to doing, maybe change that up. But you just gave this man the whole shebang of the organization. You gave him everything. You've made all these trades, and you've given up all your, all your strength of your organization in trading away your picks, and then you throw him to the bench. I don't see that. So I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell that happens. I don't think that happens.
Yeah, I think they'll sell, just like you said, Strick. They're paying him too much money, and I'm not sure if Brett Rippon is a backup. Maybe if you had like a Cooper Rush or
right.
I don't even know another name to throw out there. Maybe like a Mitch Trubisky. If you had one of these top, a Jacoby Brissett, if you had one of these guys, maybe we'd be having a different discussion. Brett Rippon doesn't do it for me. Also, Denver Broncos super fan Chris Raff from AD and Raff the Drive, Raff and AD. He says 7-2, so I stand corrected. The Chargers scored 19. I did not catch the Chargers, so they'd be 7-2 if it was 18. So,
but here's the crazy thing: just look at how just crazy this year in sports has been. To include in college football, no one. If you had a future of the possibility of TCU being where they are right now,
oh my gosh, good for you.
Good for you, right?
Right.
Just look at the whole landscape of football right now and how things have shifted. I'm talking about across the board in different conferences, right? Teams that you thought were going to be like a Utah, or just other teams that you thought were going to be there in the mix, and they're nowhere to be found. We thought this AFC West was going to be the beast.
Elite.
Right?
Yeah.
Elite. We thought that they were going to be battling for who is going to challenge the top tier of that conference, which is Kansas City. And it looks like now the Chargers are sitting in second. And we even thought that maybe it'd be Denver or Vegas, and the Chargers would be on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's crazy. So the thing about this is their last win was against the Jaguars. It doesn't get better. They've already lost to the Raiders. They've got the Raiders coming at home. They just lost to the Titans. They barely beat the Jaguars. Then they play the Panthers. I don't know. I mean, they're so topsy-turvy. They're going back to Baker Mayfield. Then you've got the Ravens, but this on the road. Then you come home against the Chiefs. Cardinals are bad. Arizona's looking for any type of getting a sniff of a win. Then you've got the Chiefs again and the Chargers. There's no way for them to go, but in the bottom barrel of the AFC West. So yeah, no good.
And it'll be interesting too. You paid Russell Wilson all that money. Do you draft a quarterback? Because we could be talking about the Broncos having a top 10, maybe top 5 pick. I think they'll get a couple wins in there, but that would certainly be interesting to see if they do make a move and go maybe to a quarterback. I don't know. Raph also says Broncos scoring offense is number 32. Their scoring defense is number 1. So nuts. That's the thing. That's the crazy part is I would say the Broncos, maybe not the best, but they're a top 5 defense in the NFL. I mean, they are an elite defense, and it really is a shame that you bring in Russell Wilson, supposed to be the missing piece of the puzzle. That doesn't work out. Also, Dirty Tony and the boys, the Derek Carr for MVP prediction is going terribly. He is certainly not going to be the MVP, and the Raiders have their own set of issues going on. They're a complete and total dumpster fire. But talking about the Raiders,
real quick, the Raiders, if you looked at their last 4 or 5 first-round draft picks,
terrible. They're all cut.
They're cut or gone, or they're no. That's crazy. They've blown it. They're
a dumpster fire, and Devontae Adams is upset. Derek Carr is crying at press conferences. It's a dumpster fire over there in Vegas. But that's a perfect segue, Strick, because we're going to go into this one, and this one excites me because you know that I was a fan of the Jeff Saturday hire, and it sounds like he put his foot down and said, we are starting Matt Ryan. He is the quarterback of this team. And his very first game as a head coach, not at the NFL level, but at the NFL or the college level, only ever coached in high school. Jeff Saturday kind of silences the critics, gets a win against the Las Vegas Raiders. So the question is, Strick, buy or sell? Jeff Saturday will be the permanent head coach of the Indianapolis Colts at the end of this season.
That's a tough one. I mean, when I look at this, I mean, they're the NFC dirty South right now is like everything in the dirty South right now. That NFC is terrible right now, but their next games are not easy. They're going to go up next against a mad Philadelphia Eagles team for what just happened to them last night. Steelers just got TJ Watt back, so they're going to be looking at them. Cowboys are going to be fighting for their life. That's their next 3 games, and then they see the Vikings. Their schedule in itself, I just don't think that they get it done. Love what Jonathan Taylor did in this last game. Tremendous comeback for him. But when you look at Eagles, Steelers with their defense, and the Steelers got them at home. Cowboys, Steelers, they got Steelers at home. Cowboys, Vikings, Chargers, Giants.
Yeah,
you don't get any wiggle room until you get to the Texans. So I'm not rolling.
It'll be interesting too because I'm gonna sell for now. But as a Colts fan, I must say, with as poorly as everything's gone, I think there's a lot of parallels with the Jeff Saturday and Mickey Joseph interim head coach situation. I mean, you have to talk about teams that had high expectations going this season. I mean, we were talking about, I know I was, and I've listened to a lot of Colts Twitter podcasts, all that stuff. So this might be a skewed opinion, but there were a lot of people saying Matt Ryan might be the missing piece. I mean, you won 11 games with Phillip Rivers. You bring in a former MVP. I know he's a little bit older. You got a good offensive line. You bring in some more weapons through the draft. Your defense is elite. Matt Ryan might be the missing piece. Well, that certainly wasn't the case. It seems that everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Very similar to Nebraska. You bring in a guy that doesn't have a ton of head coaching experience in Jeff Saturday's scenario. He doesn't have any head coaching experience. So there's a vibe, there's a culture shift. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season because I think there's a lot of parallels between the two. All right, Strick, let's get into this then. So we talked about the game of the year. I hope you watched the Vikings-Bills because that was a hell of a game, and it was awesome to watch. But the Bills will end up falling short. Josh Allen has 3 turnovers between the fourth quarter and overtime combined, so wasn't able to close out the game. They fall to the Vikings. That now opens the door, and the Miami Dolphins are the number 1 seed in the AFC East. They're at the top of the division because they hold that tiebreaker. So I'll ask you, I think the Bills make the playoffs. We're on the same page there. That's not going to happen. They're going to fall apart like that. Buy or sell, the Bills win the AFC East. AFC Beast.
Look, the AFC Beast right now, man. Like, who would have thunk it, right?
Oh,
that's not even a word, but who would have
Everyone has a winning record.
That's what I'm telling you. It's crazy. Even the Patriots are vying for an opportunity to get a sniff. But I want to just quick address what the Milkman and also Ref said, because I don't think a tank matters for the Broncos right now because remember, they gave up their assets.
That's
and
true.
If I'm correct, I think they did give up next year's first-round draft pick.
They did, but they have the Dolphins.
To the Dolphins, which is going to be late because, so quarterback might be not the option in that situation. So, I mean, not a good quarterback, not one that you would want to make a franchise type of quarterback. Okay, so that was an addresser. Listen, it is the question is, do
the Bills win the AFC Beast? I'm saying Beast. I'm saying NFC and AFC Beast from here on out.
Oh my gosh, bro. Do the Bills. That is, ooh. Listen, they played some tough ones. They've had a gauntlet of a stretch.
The Vikings,
you know what I mean? They've had a gauntlet of a stretch. And the Jets at the Jets, tough loss, boom, it came down to it, to the wire, with the Vikings. So, you can't really fault them for that. Deshaun Watson, it looks like, is trying to come back. They may have some struggles in what they're going to do there with the Browns. You could be looking at their next 3 games, getting a win with them, the Lions, Then they'll face the Patriots, which they're going to want to push them down. They don't want to have a tiebreaker of any sort.
No, you got to beat the Patriots.
You've got to beat them. Then you get the Jets at home, then the Dolphins, and then the Bengals are terrible, and then you'll get the Patriots again. I don't think they win. I sell.
Ooh, so you think the Dolphins?
I think it's crazy as it may be. I think the freaking Dolphins may end up winning.
Which is crazy to think about. Tom Zilligan says Miami will shoot themselves in the foot. So we have to ask Jake Sorensen on that.
Yeah, Jake Sorensen is not going to.
They might.
But they're very capable. But listen, let's be real about this. Anytime you have Tyreek Hill, and as long as freaking Tua can throw it anywhere down the field, there's so many things that open up when you've got a guy that can stretch the field. The guy that can stretch the field the way that he does it, man, it opens up so many things. It puts so much pressure, so much tension on that secondary that it's going to be tough for any team that's scouting or facing them. Just as long as the other players of the team step up, I think the Dolphins are looking in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and their running game is really coming along too because they picked up Jeff Wilson at the trade deadline. We're able to move Chase Edmonds, and they still got Raheem Mostert in the backfield too. So the Dolphins are a scary football team. Couple more for you here, Strick. Deshaun Watson, he will be back in 2 weeks. So the Browns just have 2 more games. Probably not the ideal situation for the Browns right now. They sit at 3-6, would currently finish as the 11 seed if the AFC if the playoffs were to start today. So he's back in 2 weeks. That will give him 6 weeks of football. Again, the Browns currently sit at 3-6. Buy or sell. The Browns will make the playoffs with Deshaun Watson coming back in 2 weeks.
I'm going to sell. Yeah. I think getting back into the mix, too many road games. I mean, they have 5 road games and only 3 at home, and it's against Tampa, New Orleans, and Baltimore. So those are possibilities. I just don't think that they're a good enough team right now on the road. I don't know, I love Hunt. I love their running game. I just don't know if their wide receiver core gives me anything that makes me scared. Brissett has done the best that he could. He's just not good enough. Nick Chubb is solid. I love him, but I just don't think on, like I say, Amari Cooper, his numbers to me, I would love to see better. Obviously Purdue grad, Bell's there. They've got some potential, but none of them are showing improving to me right now, which doesn't bode well for me to feel that they can get it done.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. I'm going to sell that one too. I think Deshaun Watson will make a difference, but probably not big enough. A couple more here, Strick. So Saquon Barkley, probably a surefire bet right now to be the comeback player of the year. As it currently stands, he has 931 yards rushing with 6 touchdowns. He's actually the second leading receiver on the Giants as well, 197 yards receiving, and the Giants currently sit at 7-2. Buy or sell, Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL. Comeback player.
I'll for sure that I'll still buy it right now because he's so versatile. He's a threat out of the backfield, in the screen game, in the pass game, in the run game. But then their wide receivers are performing and they're just playing good football. Like there's nothing special that they're doing.
It's a solid team.
Just solid, right? All the way across the board. There's nothing special on their defense that scares you. It's not like they got some, like Micah Parsons or somebody, but they just freaking perform. He's approaching Saquon's like already approaching 1,000 yards, and he's an effective player, the second best receiver on the team.
Right.
So, look, Darius Slayton, there's nothing scary about Darius Slayton. He's a deep ball threat. This is why his numbers are the way that he is. But all of that comes because of Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Let's just be real. Now, I'm not going to say that they're going to win out because I think once the competition measures up with them at high levels, when they have really good cornerbacks and DBs that can lock down and you can stack the box, I think they get in trouble then. But other than that, man, shoot, they're tough. They're a tough opponent. They're a tough out.
Yeah, and it's interesting too when it comes to contract negotiations because everyone wrote off Saquon Barkley over the past couple of injury issues. I agree with you, Strick. I'm going to buy Saquon Barkley right now is the best running back in football, and Derrick Henry having a little bit of a down year in Derrick Henry terms, and Jonathan Taylor, like you said, been on and off the field. The offensive line struggle. I'm going to have to go with Saquon Barkley.
But watch out nipping at his toes if he can stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey's like that kind of guy too. But I just think they've got more weapons. That they just got more weapons.
I'd agree too, and I think him being a receiving back too. Two really quick ones before we go to break, Strick. We're talking about weapons. The Rams now are the last team in the NFC West. Who would have thunk that? Certainly not me. Cooper Kupp, buy or sell, has played his last game for the Rams this season. Just went on IR. I think they might shut him down. I'm going to buy.
Yeah, I'm going to buy. I'll buy.
They're just going to shut him down.
Yeah.
There's no reason. No. Yeah. At this point in time, there's no reason to. Why play him and get even more hurt? He's the best receiver in the NFL. Just shut him down. He's done for the season. Move forward to next season. All right, last one I got for you. This will make Chiefs fans happy here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Buy or sell, the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in football.
I would say so now. I thought the Bills had that defensive aspect but look, Chandler Jones and those guys, hey, listen, they're saying, shoot, watch your mouth. We in the mix too. They have a high differential. One of the better ones outside of the Bills, but yet the Bills just can't seem to win the close one. But the Chiefs do. They get it done.
And I've been saying it since the beginning, Strick. You got to give me credit. I said, just hang on here. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I'm going to buy, and I tell you what, too. I think Patrick Mahomes last week, in the week prior, I think he has 7 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. I think he's headed towards his second MVP. I think that's definitely going to be the case.
I was impressed. I thought losing the Cheetah would make it difficult for them to be able to get off, but shoot, I'm
still
impressed.
got it. You still got it.
Yeah.
Steve Sipple coming up next. Husker Online on 3. Stay with us on the block.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Casey's General Stores is giving away 2 tickets to each Nebraska football home game this season. To enter, just head to any Casey's General Store location in Lincoln during the football season, scan the QR code at the front counter, and fill out the online form. One winner will be chosen at random 2 days before that week's game. So head over to Casey's, stock up on all your tailgating snacks and drinks, and register to win 2 tickets to a Nebraska football game, brought to you by Casey's General Store and 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for some holiday fun right in the heart of downtown Lincoln? Bring your friends and family to Lincoln's largest drive-through Christmas lights experience. This show features countless high-quality lights in vibrant colors, holiday props, and favorite characters of the season, all synchronized to music to enjoy in your car. Start a new holiday tradition this year and experience the magic of Nebraska Christmas Light Show at Haymarket Park from November 26th to January 3rd, 5 p.m. to midnight. Purchase tickets today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day workweek schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe Card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including the new Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block, 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet. My partner, Eric Strickland, 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also head over to the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Interact with us on all of those platforms as well. Give us a shout out. Give us a question. We will do our best to answer it and get back to you. Give us a like, subscribe, share, follow, all of that good stuff on all of those platforms as well. Again, that number is 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln Hotline. Strick, we're about to bring in one of our favorites here on the block. Our guy, our man, a busy guy, as always, Steve Sipple on 3 Husker Online. What's going on, Sip?
I'm not all that busy. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, we know you're a busy man. Sip, you're an important man, and we just appreciate you, as always, joining us here on the block. Again, Steve Sipple, Husker Online on 3. Sip, I got to ask you, it sounds like it might be a shakeup in the quarterback room. It looks like Casey Thompson back as of right now. The depth is going to look a little bit different. What's your takeaway from the quarterback room after what happened last week heading into this weekend?
There's just, I don't know, there's kind of a shuffle, you know,
right.
And it's still pretty indefinite. Casey was throwing today, Casey Thompson.
Okay.
And that's a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Mickey Joseph wouldn't, he's not committing to Casey Thompson being back in the lineup. So if Casey's not, it would be Logan Smothers as the starter. And I think the most interesting part of the conversation is the backup in this configuration would be Jarrett Sinek. And that's a name. Yeah. And that's a name nobody really, a lot of Nebraska fans just aren't familiar with. Jarrett Sinek is a walk-on from Hastings High School. And, he threw for a ton of yards. He threw for a ton of yards at Hastings High School. Pretty good runner. And Mickey said he's his athlete. Mickey said in your number 3 guy, you're looking for athleticism. That's what Mickey said. That maybe sets him apart. So sets him apart from, Heinrich Harburg probably, who's also athletic. I don't know. Torres is right behind Sinek, Richard Torres. He's a scholarship guy. But yeah, Jared Sinek would be the backup quarterback, in the event that Logan Smothers starts.
Hey,
but
let's talk about that though, man.
I wanted Sip to say it, not me. He's the insider.
But let's even Sip. The crazy thing about that, I'm to the point right now where if we can't freaking find somebody that maybe has a little bit of juice and can move a chain or two, I don't care who you throw out there at this point. Give everybody a shot. Like that's the way I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you got to move a chain or two. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm with you. The thing that people kind of scratch their heads over is where's Harburg? Harburg has been around a little bit. Second year in the program, and he's getting past. And I don't know exactly what's gone wrong there. I know he's had a little trouble with making the transition from high school offense to college. He told me that. So I don't know. And now Richard Torres, I don't know. He's just a true freshman, and Sinek's a redshirt freshman, so he's been around a little bit longer and does give you the athleticism. But yeah, Jarrett Sinek would be the backup. Now it's possible Casey plays. Mickey's going to play that close to the vest all week, I imagine, with Casey. No need to tip off anybody. I can't get a read on it. I can't. It seems like if Casey is in practice and throwing, to me, that seems like a good chance he'd play.
Yeah, it'd certainly be refreshing to see Casey Thompson back out there, Sip, especially what's happened over these past 2 weeks when it comes to Nebraska football. Steve Sipple, Husker Online on 3 Network, joining us right here on the block. Sip, I know you've been covering Nebraska for a while, and we're now sitting at possibly 9 straight games against Wisconsin that Nebraska could lose. Last I looked, they were 13-point underdogs. Last game in Memorial Stadium for the season, so much uncertainty. Just from your perspective, what would a win mean for this team, this coaching staff, this program? Like, just from what you've seen over the years, can you just grasp for me what a win would really mean for this team?
It's hard. What would it mean for the team? What would it mean for the fan base? Yeah. Those are 2 separate things. I think you have to make those distinctions. And for the players, football isn't always fun. Well, it's often not fun at all. It's not. The fun is in achievement with your teammates. It's because a lot of football is just brutal hard work.
Yeah.
Now, so what am I getting at? If you win, if you can beat Wisconsin, that's achievement, and it would be something for these kids to have, forever. But, this season has gone poorly, but hey, we just beat Wisconsin to end that long streak, and now we have a shot against Iowa, and we're doing it, and we did it under horrible circumstances. Really a lot of adversity, a lot of awkwardness. And look, we stayed together and we did this.
Yeah.
For the team, now for the players and the coaches, it'd be enormous. Now, I don't think for the fan base it would be. I don't think anybody, just doesn't seem like anybody really is talking about this game much. It's all about the search.
Yeah, Sip. So one of the things with the search, right? We're getting some people sending in messages over the YouTube stream and over the different streaming platforms. And Gavin Robinson asked a question, and I'm just going to ask it of you just because I want to make sure that our listeners are also heard in some of their questioning. But he says, well, what do you think of Matt Rule? Now, let me give you my quick take before I pass the mic along to you. I think one of the intriguing things with Matt Rule that I just on the outside looking in observation, as he took over the Temple Owls at a 2-10 record, 1-7 in their conference, he got that program turned around where in the last 2 years, in 15 and 16, that he found himself both with 10 wins and 7-1 in conference, right? So that's a turnaround that he's able to do. He goes over to Baylor in 2017, a 1-11 team with only 1 win in conference. And the next year, you see a quick turnaround at 7-6, and then you see a finalization at 2019 at 11-3. I think that's what the people are most intrigued about. It's not necessarily anything specific about Matt Rule, because obviously his win-loss records don't blow you away by any means, but it just seems like his ability to get it turned around is what they're saying. So the question was, what do you think about Matt Rule?
Well, I would add, I mean, I agree with what you said, Eric. And I would add to that, I like his background as a defensive line coach and an offensive line coach. Now, at 3 separate stints as a defensive line coach in college at Buffalo, UCLA, and then before he ascended at Temple, he was a D-line coach there. I like that. Because I think right now, I mean, you heard Mickey today, Eric. Mickey today said that, you know, look at Big Ten football. Look what it's played in a phone booth. He said in the SEC they use all of the field. You know, Mickey's very familiar with the SEC. He said they use every inch of the field. In the Big Ten, they play that in the middle of the field. This is what Mickey said. I agree with him too. So I think you have to get a coach in here that builds from the inside out. Okay. And I think that's informative on what Trev's looking for. So that experience that Rule has is appealing to me.
Steve Sipple, our boy Sip, Husker Online on 3. Sip, it looks like to me, so Mickey Joseph said that he hasn't spoken to Trev Alberts about the coaching job. He wants to sit down and talk with his family, talk to Trev, talk to that head coach and find out what his next role would be. He says that he would love to stay. Do you see that if Mickey Joseph isn't offered the head coaching position, they do go from the outside? Do you see a likely scenario that Mickey Joseph does stay within the program?
Well, there's some moving parts in there that we just don't know. We don't know who that, if it's not Mickey as the head coach, which it's looking like it won't be, then who is it? And would he want Mickey on the staff? You know, I mean, first of all, that part has to fall into place. And then the other part of it is Mickey's going to have other offers. I don't know about head coach offers. He might, but he'll have other very good assistant offers. This period at Nebraska, I think, really would enhance his career. I know he's 2-5 as the interim, but he's the interim, and he has that now. And I think most people understood he took over an enormously challenging situation. And now his resume, I mean, it's that much better. He won't have a hard time. This won't be his only job offer if it comes. If it happens to be where the next head coach would like to have Mickey, my guess is Mickey would stay, but it would be dependent on, who else wants Mickey, I mean, so I'd watch that part of it.
Steve Sipple on 3 Husker Online. Sip, last question I got for you, and this might be purely speculation. It might just be a gut feeling, but I got to ask you, a lot of Nebraska fans are on the edge of their seat wanting to know who the next head coach is. I know last year, right before the Iowa game, it was made very clear that Nebraska would retain Scott Frost. Trev Alberts came out and said that. Do you see a final word or the next head coach being announced before that Iowa game or after?
That's a good question. I'm inclined to say after, but I would not be completely surprised if they did it before because it's a Black Friday game on it's on national TV, of course. And it's not going to go well, I wouldn't think, for Nebraska on the field that day. It's going to be tough. Iowa's an elite defense.
They are.
And this might be an opportunity for Trev to kind of shift the narrative forward, propel the narrative forward instead of having Nebraska on TV scoring 10 or fewer points against Iowa, which I think we all could imagine.
Yeah.
Instead of having that, have the game, the game's the game, and it'll happen. But also, if you name the coach before, then again, it changes the narrative in a positive way, and everybody will be talking about the future, So I don't know. It's a tough one. I have, I've seen a report now that it's, the administration's on a trajectory to either hire right before the Black Friday game or right after. So pick it. I don't know, 50-50.
It's definitely got Husker fans going just a little bit crazy, to say the least. Sip, that's for sure.
Yeah,
people are
getting
a little bit frustrated that something hasn't been released, and we've heard from everybody and their uncle about who's going to be the next head coach in Nebraska. But I digress. Sip, if people want to get more great content from you and your team over at Husker Online, how can they do so?
Yeah, HuskerOnline.com is the site, and I don't know what the sign up is now, how much is, but it's a bargain. Robin Washit covers the hoops team at a high level, and they have a big game Thursday against St. John's. Abby Barmore, I don't think there's anybody that covers volleyball better than Abby. So she just put up a story from John Cook today. And then, Sean and I do a lot of the football stuff along with Robin, and Brian Munson handles the recruiting. So, it's a good site. HuskerOnline.com.
Well, Sip, you guys always do great stuff. We appreciate you as always, and we will talk to you next week.
We appreciate you too. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Steve Sipple on 3, Husker Online. Great stuff from him and his team as always. Speaking of Brian Munson, we heard from him yesterday, Sip. So we got the whole Husker Online on 3 crew. And I said that we'll see Sip next week. We will actually also see him at Tipsy Tina's on Saturday. Nebraska's got a home game, so we're going to be there bright and early over at Tipsy Tina's. You should join us as well. Tipsy Tina's Ticket Tailgate pregame show. So always the place to be. You'll see me and Strick there, that's for sure. Eating some tacos, drinking some margaritas, as we always do. But we got to take a quick break. DP in the house. He is officially back. And we're going to have a little crossover action with Old School. Stay with us right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including the new Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Join us on Friday from 4 to 6 at Bourbon Street as we get you ready for Saturday's game. Old School with Jay Foreman and DP goes from 4 to 6. Stop by for some of the best drinks and Cajun food in town at Bourbon Street at 8th and Q.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval, some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies at times. It will be breezy and cold with a high of only 36 and a northwest wind at around 15 to 20. We may see a few snow showers drift through late this evening into tonight with a low of 18. And tomorrow, staying cold with a high of only 33. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet. He is the man, the myth, the legend, back here in Studio DP. joining us as he always does for a little crossover action. What's going on today?
What's happening? It's down at the Mecca at the big Grand Lady Memorial Stadium, listening to coaches and players talk.
Oh yeah,
as they prepare for Wisconsin.
Yes, and I know we will certainly get into that for old school as well. I would be shocked if we don't, to say the least.
We shall.
We will. 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. As always, we want to hear from you. Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Strick, what's going on with you too? It looks like you avoided the snow. So are you nice and cozy and warm?
Yes, it's nice and cozy, but it's definitely chilly willy outside. There's no question about that. But yeah, it's early in the week. We still got some stuff going on. Big game though. Let's shout that out. Lady Huskers play Creighton tonight, so that's a big game going on. Also, you're gonna have Duke and
Duke, Kansas. There's the big Michigan State.
Is that tonight?
Yeah, Duke, Kansas. Yeah, Duke, Kansas. There's some big games out there to be able to watch and sit down and chill out, especially on a cold night. I wish I had a fireplace that I could kind of sit in front of, but see, I'm not DP. DP's got all the bells and whistles in the house.
Mine's electric. Kentucky, Michigan, Duke, and Kansas. Ooh. So in the Champions Classic tonight.
Well, let me ask you this, Strick. I don't know if you saw the Creighton, Nebraska game. They're not playing at CHI.
Oh,
I don't know what Rico was saying. It was a different venue, but they're not playing at CHI, and it's not a televised game either. Which
interesting.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was a little bit interesting, and that rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. But that one kind of confused me. I don't know about you, DP. That one was just kind of a head scratcher.
I had planned on going into it on old school. That who are the decision makers who decided that in the biggest game in women's basketball in the entire state of Nebraska will not be shared or televised? Like who made that decision? You know what? Go Big Ten Plus. Make the deal. Like, why not?
Strick will call it.
Why would you not make it? Like, me and Strick could go handle it and like just let us get out of the way. We'll get it done. But I didn't understand, like, how do you, when you negotiate, these are two teams that do not have to play each other. So when you make the decision to play the game, knowing how important it is, how big it is for recruiting, how big it is for boosters and sponsors, how big it is for the fan base, because this is the great divide. And it's the one opportunity you get to have people match up and do their thing together in a grand space. So one, you pick the smallest building that you could play it in.
Which was so confusing to me.
Again, another weird thing. But the other part of it is just to not televise it, so people who are actually interested, they've been talking, literally the newspapers are talking about maybe women's basketball is on the rise and could catch up with volleyball.
They're both ranked.
But shoot yourself right in the foot and make sure that the game is not given the exposure it's due. It's craziness.
It blows.
It is crazy.
Strick, I want to get your thoughts here in a second, but we got to pause for station ID, and we'll come back to you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Strick, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's craziness. I mean, the 22 and the 21st ranked team in the country are facing off in-state rivals, and this just doesn't have an eyeball on it as far as TV coverage. I think it's crazy. Shoot, I don't even know what to say about it. It's dumbfounding. And then I even went to look at tickets, and because of the venue that you're holding them in, the tickets are like almost $100 something that I was looking at to try to nab some. And I mean, I could be looking just at the wrong place. Maybe there's a different place that I could look at, but I was like, dang, maybe I should just go down and check it out. But yeah, I hate that we can't put our eyes on it. I think it's just it's a travesty to have in-state young women to be able to play the game at a high level, and they're both looking pretty good and have some interest, and can't do it.
And the other thing too, and out of all the nonsense that they put on every single one of these networks of games that ended up being 50-0 blowouts from the 1970s, and it's like, you're going to show me that, but you can't show me a game happening tonight, two ranked teams in the state of Nebraska. And the thing is too, like, you're doing it to yourself.
Even if they were unranked, this is still the game of the year.
And you have
in
so
Nebraska.
many eyes on it too.
Like, this is the game of the year. And listen, they could have gotten this game broadcasted for free.
Yeah.
For free. They're there are 10 sets of announcers who would have done this game for free and done right by it. And you could think of all the money they left laying on the table because there's no advertising for this thing. There's no booster
like
presence.
you said, Nebraska fans will watch. I promise.
Well, but why would you sign the game without television? Why would you like to go out of your way to in the most important game of the season? Like in the sport that you're supposed to love the most. Like this is for the people who are about women's basketball, this is it.
Right.
And when you sat down at the table to make the deal, television is for revenue for both sides. Both schools make money off of this thing. As a matter of fact, both conferences would make money off this thing. And if you're recruiting talent within state,
that's a big
this
part
is
of it.
this is your opportunity. Look, what you should have done was invited all of the top prospects to this game, so that they see the two top 25 programs play each other
at CHI.
Like,
That's
right? Don't bring them
to
to the Cracker Box, right? You don't need to do that. And I understand it. Like it's a Cracker Jack box. Like you could have done this in full, neutral site even. It would have sold. It would have sold. So. I don't know.
Where's DJ Sokol Arena anyway? I'm still.
You would know, Strick. I was going to ask you where that is.
Yeah, I don't even know. You know.
Yeah, Strick. I mean, first of all, you should be able to walk in the building anyway. You shouldn't need to have to get a ticket. You should be able to just walk in and say, you know what? Hey, as a matter of fact, don't you have a basketball credential for Nebraska?
Yes, I actually do. Yes,
it works on the road. It works on the road. So go ahead, go on up there and use your press pass, man. Go on and get up there and watch that game.
Oh, so okay, so it looks like, if I'm correct, DJ Sokol Arena is actually on the campus.
Yeah, that's what Mark says. Mark says it's actually
on the campus.
Yeah,
so it's on Creighton campus.
I hate to be that dude. Like I'm not from here. But I've been here long enough to understand the temperature of the room. And this is like, you wouldn't do this to Creighton and Nebraska softball. You wouldn't do it to Nebraska and Creighton basketball. You wouldn't do it
for volleyball.
You wouldn't do it for volleyball. You wouldn't do it for baseball. You just wouldn't do it. So I don't, and I hate to be like the finger point. Like, what are you like? What
right?
Like, what are you doing down there? But on either side, I don't care if it's Creighton's athletic department or Nebraska's athletic department. If you care about your fans and you care about your programs, this is on the schedule. Like when the schedule was released, there were two games that were looked at: opening night and Creighton. So, listen, I don't know. I'm disappointed. It's going to force me to watch something else.
And this is what's frustrating: is Eric says that FS2 is going to be showing Stonehill at Providence.
Like I got strict. I don't know if you got caught up in it, but last night Texas played UConn in an invitational, women's, and the basketball was so good that immediately I got excited about Creighton, Nebraska, only to find out that I wouldn't be able to watch Creighton, Nebraska. So, and it's not like there's not talent on the floor in both spaces. I mean, Creighton's got a young lady averaging 20 points a game. Nebraska is off to a 2-0 start, projected top 25, maybe to make it to Sweet 16. Right? Like it's just it's a fantastic whoops-a-diddly. Like just everybody there just go, okay, who's responsible for this? Because it's just a bad look.
And I wish I could explain it to you, but
it's a bad look. Well, I got nothing. I got nothing. But Strick, go ahead and use that credential, man. Just walk up in there and say, I'm Eric freaking Strickland.
Yeah, I'm Eric Strickland.
Let me in the door.
Know what's going on. Strick, any final thoughts before we wrap things up on the block? What do you got for me?
Well, obviously, I think this is the game where I think we're going to probably hear something potentially out of what the coaching steps is going to be. I think it would make sense to happen before the last game of the season. You're not bowl eligible. I think to be able to turn the conversation in the narrative, I think that would be something that would probably want to happen after this next game, hoping that the Nebraska Cornhuskers can finish out against these next two rivals. with some success. Also, St. John's Huskers go on the road. Tough challenge for them, for the basketball team to hit the road. And again, we're dumbfounded as far as why there's no TV game for the Creighton and Nebraska game. Dumbfounded.
Well, Strick, I tell you what, tomorrow we're going to break down a lot of Nebraska St. John's, and we're going to do the same on Thursday because who better to ask than the Husker Hall of Famer himself. Strick, we appreciate you as always. You gave us a perfect segue because we're going to talk about the head coaching position here at Old School. I'd be shocked
we're not.
if we don't.
No, we're not.
Not going to talk about that?
Not one
we will
second.
Not. All right. Well,
not
we will
one
still be.
second.
Well, Strick, we will still be talking Nebraska football because that's what we do on Old School. We appreciate you as always. That'll do it for us on the block. For myself, Nate Brennan, for the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. Old School coming up next. Stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket.